Hello, 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 and we're back in the room with another coffee time. Hope you're all enjoying it. So we're on the Daily Mail website, and what's up there? This is interesting. Our mate Putin, remember old Vlad? Do you remember him? Been quiet lately, hasn't he? But at a diplomatic ceremony, some it is bizarre behaviour we've got here. I'm just waiting for my internet to catch up. He gave a speech in front of the new British ambassador in Moscow, and it's. I think the song that should be playing is "Don't Stand So Close to Me." Yeah, he insisted that they were over 70 foot away from him when he gave the speech, and he blamed sanitary reasons on this. Somebody smells. Who's the stinker? Who's the stinker? So yeah, can you believe that? Yeah, he is quite bizarre, isn't it? But in the speech, good news, in the speech, Putin appeared to hold out an olive branch to Britain, calling for a change for the better in relation between Moscow and London. Isn't that nice? But yeah, it's just everyone was just so far away, and these are the foreign delegates, ambassadors, who are made to stand at great distance away from him. They would tell if something was wrong, wouldn't they? They would tell us if something was wrong. What else have we got? Royal news. Boring. Here we go. Who likes wrestling? Who remembers Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks? Hey, who remembers World of Sport? Dickie Davis. Who remembers? No. Well, there's new wrestling now called WWE. Not to be confused with WWF, which is the World Wildlife Fund. But yeah, this is a fan again. This is on Sunday. There was a live event featuring, again, I don't know who these people are, featuring Odyssey Jones, Grayson Waller, Cameron Grimes, Austin Theory. No? Anyway. There was some footage from said appearance, if I can get it working, because it's on the old tweets. Let's go to X. This is what happens when you don't prepare, you know. This is what happens when you don't prepare. So yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll fill you in as I get it queued. A fan decides to, I don't know, jump the barricades and have a go at wrestling. So here we go. Here he is. He jumps in there and gets grabbed, taken away. So, what's going on there? See, again, he gets kind of thrown over the barricades. Like, there you go, and that's how they deal with troublemakers at the wrestling. They just grab them and throw them back over the barriers, and security took them out. There you go. Yeah. An Australian wrestler mocked some of the fans, you know, because that's what they do. What's it called? Trash talk. And as he ran into the arena, ran down, give him a bit of a. But the fan jumped over the barricade in an attempt to get to which one was it? Grayson Waller. But he was immediately wrestled to the ground by security and then thrown over the barricades. And this was Waller's response. He just laughed. He went, ha 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 ha. There you go. So that's sports news for you. I know what I'm talking about. Mind you, we've got some police news already. God, this is good. Hopefully we've got the. I'm just going to try and get. We've got a lot of video queued up. I'm just hoping that there isn't an advert. Hope there isn't. Is there an advert? Waiting. Who knows? There's nothing happening. Come on, Daily Mail. Very slow today. And it's an advert. This is indoor complete tables. If you're looking for a table, they've got the table for you. But I don't want to watch their advert. I want to watch this next clip. Well, what it is it's a cop. This is his footage from his personal camera, and he's after a drug dealer. And what he does, he gets out of his car, and he's on foot, and then he commandeers. Well, here he goes. He's running after. He commandeers a bicycle from a local, and cycles after the drug dealer. This is in Northampton. Well, Northampton is Northamptonshire, isn't it? Again, don't really get a good idea of what's going on because his body cam is pointing towards the ground. But trust me, he's cycling after. Here we go. We've got some CCTV footage. They've intercut it with that. So there he is. He's cycling along there. I like that. And yeah, he ran his man down. Basically took him out with the bicycle. Now that's proper copping, isn't it? He really copped him there. So yeah, that's the story. And then afterwards, he returned said bike to the person he borrowed it from. So there we go. It's all happening up there. So yeah, that was PC Lewis Marks, another officer. They were chasing Sean Prosser, who fled on his bike. But Marks was one step ahead as he quickly drove to Beckett's Park, where the drug dealer was heading, and the body cam showed the moment he arrives at the park, spots Prosser, and knowing that he wouldn't be able to catch him on foot, commandeers a bike from a member of the public, gives chase, and then rams the bike in front, taking him to the ground. And then he returns the bike to his owner, shook his hand and said, "I wouldn't have caught him without your help." There you go. A spokesman for Northamptonshire Police said a quick thinking of police officer and health member of the public teamed up to take down a drug dealer in Northampton. This was 11:45 AM on August the 23rd, and where a public called in a possible drug deal taking place near Commercial Street. The man involved was Sean Christopher Prosser, of no fixed abode, and when the officers arrived, he made off with the bicycle. Following a search, Prosser was found to be in possession of a large quantity of cash and phones. Right, but he had actually, again, they did it. What else did they find? Yeah, they found wraps of heroin and crack cocaine in a plugged Kinder Egg toy case. Now they say they did a CT scan. Now did he swallow it? Oh, I don't know. So yeah, he was charged with 2 counts of possessing and intent to supply Class A drugs. And Prosser is now starting a jail term of 3 years and 8 months. There you go. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff there. Woohoo. Meanwhile, are you getting your Christmas decorations ready? Well, one DIY fan who's shown how to be a bit thrifty with her throw-ins away stuff. That wasn't even a. What was that? I don't know. My brain is over there. That's it. Louise Lockhart from Yorkshire, who's got a TikTok account under the name Printed Peanut, of course, has shared a video on social media showing how she can make festive decorations. And again, it's I'll show you the decorations first. Right, this is what she makes. But I'm not going to tell you how she makes it. I'm going to slow reveal it. Right, she makes these decorations out of an object you would find in the kitchen that you often throw away. What is it, Darren? What does she use? Well, she uses tomato puree tubes. Right? Okay. And she cuts them up. And inside, look, it's got a lovely golden inner, which she can then mould and create her Christmas ornaments. Okay. But yeah, that's how to do it if you've got zero budget and you use tomato puree. Again, key factor that, got to be using tomato puree. Don't go out, buy tomato puree, empty it down the drain, and then, because that's a waste of tomato puree. You've got to be using the tomato puree first. Meanwhile, there's a new study. How do you measure success? Well, I measure it in guitars. That's how I measure mine. Guitars and bits of useless ephemera. No, okay, just me then. But yeah, this is a research. Oh God, this is research. Researchers have worked out what success is and what is the signs of a successful person. They've got it. They've done a little infogram here. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up, like I always do. This is the Ipsos Knowledge Panel survey, and 4% working long hours. That's not success. That's working long hours, that is. Microwave oven. I got one of those. 4%. Replying to emails, taking calls during non-working hours. 4%. That's working when you shouldn't be working. TV subscription service such as Netflix or Disney. 6%. Well, I've got one of those. Dishwasher. That's 7%. That's the missus. No, I'm joking. Widescreen TV. I've got one of those. That's 8%. Having retired from work early. Absolutely. 47%. Having a high-paying job. 48%. Not having debt from credit cards or unsecured loans. I'm getting there. Nearly there. A second home. God blimey. That's 56%. Having built up a good pension for retirement. Pension? I just hide the money in a sock under the bed. That's 58%. No, don't look under. You can't look under my bed anyway, because there isn't an under my bed. Because our bed, it's one of those divans that kind of, it's got drawers in it. It's not in. No, the money isn't in the drawer under the bed. Not in a sock. You'll never find it because there isn't any. Having savings or assets to leave to children or family. Boy, they're going to be disappointed. 59%. And 63% owning your own home. Well, we have a mortgage. The bank owns the home, and we give them money to stay here. So yeah, how successful are you on the basis of that? I don't know. Now here's a story. Now I don't know if you've ever heard of these, where people kind of take over homes and then come in possession of them because they've lived there for a long period of time. It used to be like 10 years. I remember there was a famous one. He went by the name of Rainbow George. He used to call into the radio, and actually, I think he started the Rainbow Party. He managed to come into ownership of a house in London, and I think he ended up selling it. He was very rich and then spent all the money. But I may have remembered that wrong. But this is a similar one of those stories. This is the story of a chap called Keith Best. Here he is. He's a builder by trade. And this is the second story I've seen about him. Again, the Mail brand him a shameless squatter. Again, if a place is abandoned and it's empty and somebody, I mean, come on. I see it as being resourceful. When places are a premium, and with places to deliver a premium, I don't know, I just see them as being resourceful. But anyway, they ran this story the other day about him being a shameless squatter who moved into a pensioner's empty home and sold it for £540,000. Right? But I've actually got an interview with him today. The builder, who's 58, says, I've been portrayed as a thief who cheated an old man out of his home, but it's not true. The whole thing has been a nightmare. It's affected my health and cost me a lot of money. I've never made anything from it, and yet it's been made out that I robbed a pensioner. I've not made a profit. Now, going back to 1997, Mr. Best noticed the house in Newbury Park was vacant and began treating it his own before renovating it. And here is said dwelling. And he lived in the property for almost 8 years. It was previously owned by Doris Curtis, who lived there with her son Colin. Following her death in the mid-80s, he continued to live there alone before moving out in 1996, leaving it empty. Mr. Best insisted he had every right to take over the house because Mr. Curtis never visited or maintained it. He said he didn't care about the house, never went there, and didn't even know. And he didn't even know about it. He wasn't poor. He inherited another property and never went back to the house in Newbury Park. When asked, Mr. Best says he had to pay high legal fees of £400,000 over the property, and he used his own money to pay this. And he revealed that in addition to working as a builder, he was also employed by a senior manager by Virgin, so he had lots of money. He had lots of money coming. He said, I had a very good job and was being paid £75,000 a year. But I lost it because of all the negative publicity at the time. I went to court 8 times over the house. I was sick by the end. I tried to settle with the family, Mr. Curtis, before it even came to court. Mr. Best claimed that the stress of the legal battle led to the death of his mother 2 years ago. He said it killed my mum. She saw the effect it was having on me. So, there you go. This goes back to what you see as being successful. Owning your own property. Or in this case, owning somebody else's property. But yeah, Mr. Curtis, the guy that owned the property, or previously owned the property, moved out to sheltered accommodation, you see. He moved to a warden-assisted flat in Romford, leaving the property unoccupied. But yeah, Best sold the property for £540,000 in July 2020. And the legal battle for them started in 2012 after Mr. Best submitted an application for adverse possession, under which a trespasser can win rights to somewhere they don't legally own, as they can demonstrate they had control of it over a period of time. He was initially turned down by the Chief Land Registrar, as his claim came a few weeks after squatting was criminalised under the Legal Aid Sentencing and Punishment of Offenders Act. However, this was overruled by the High Court in 2014, with Mr. Justice Annesley ruling that the Registrar's decision was founded on error of law. So he was allowed to do it. Again, that was a thing, and the law has been changed. I don't think you can do that now. But again, with all the abandoned properties out there, I don't know. I think. And Best also claims that he did pay compensation to Mr. Curtis and his family. And he ended up being left out of pocket of $255,000 over the incident. So there you go. Be careful. Don't leave anywhere abandoned. Now let's do some good news, eh? How about this pair? This is the story of Jeff Banks from Honiton, Devon, and Celesta Byrne from Texas. All right. And here they are. Meeting up. Now that's a rare meet up because the centenarians, if I said that right, are the world's oldest pen pals. Yeah, they've been writing to each other since they were 16-year-olds, right? And again, they send letters across the Atlantic all this time. But now they've switched from pen and paper to Zoom calls, though they do get help from their children to use the technology. And this is something that George enjoys because he finds writing difficult to do with his age. But yeah, he said, I honestly struggle now to remember how we got in touch, but it was talking to Celeste recently. I think it was something to do with an American school scheme. He recalls that in the final year at grammar, he was matched up with American Celeste and they began chatting. But then the war got in the way, making it difficult to keep in regular contact. But yeah, so they've been here there all this time. That reminds me, I did have a German pen pal. And it got when I was doing back in at school, because we did German. I did German back then, and we all had to have a pen pal. And I had a German pen pal, and we exchanged a few letters. And then it kind of all petered out once he sent me a shopping list. No word. I think I'm a bit worried for him because I got a shopping list in the post. So maybe I don't know. His mum went out with his pen pal letter. That must have confused her, hasn't it? You know, but yeah, and I never heard from him again. I wrote a letter back saying, I think you might have sent me the wrong letter. You sent me a shopping list. Never heard from him again. There you go. True story, that. Mrs. is going, I've never heard that story. No, because I keep my powder dry. After all these years. You've never heard that story. There you go. There you go. So that was a nice story, wasn't it? Meanwhile, food news. We've got two food stories for you. First is Lidl. Lidl are in a little bit of trouble because they've had to rename one of their loaves. Yeah, this is top quality content. Yeah, they had the sourdough rye crusty bloomer, and who doesn't love a crusty bloomer now and again? But they had to rename it. Yeah. A customer complained that about the bread back in June, that it was actually sourfaux. See what they did there? Sourfaux, not sourdough. Sourfaux, faux as in false. As it made from 56% wheat flour and just 12% rye flour. Lidl rejected the complaint, but a campaign group, the Real Bread Campaign, I did not know this existed, argued the name was misleading because the baker's yeast was included in the recipe in contravention with the traditional sourdough ingredients. Because again, sourdough, they use a starter kind of dough, yeast paste. It's like a yeasty paste of dough, which they keep in a jar and they take a bit out and they add a bit too. And that's how you make sourdough. Whereas they actually add yeast to the bread to speed up the process, which doesn't make it a sourdough. So there you go. See, I've been watching too much Great British Bake Off, you can tell. So they've had to rename it as the Lidl Sourfaux. Yeah, so I've just lost the will to live. I have. Real Bread Campaign coordinator Chris Young said, "We're thankful that Lidl has come up with a more appropriate name for the product." Yeah. As they've changed the name from sourdough crusty rye bloomer to the crusty wheaten rye bloomer. I will sleep soundly tonight. And everybody's happy. There you go. I'm just glad they didn't get their bloomers in a twist. Okay then. Okay, I will move along. And it's refreshed the page. There we go. Here we go. Now we're going from what? So we're going from bread to chocolate, right? Bethany Tao was posted on the Extreme Couponing and Bargainings UK group on Facebook. You can see where the Mail get their top stories from. And she was cock-a-hoop. Why? Because she found one of her favourite Quality Street treats in chocolate bar form. Yes. And here it is. This is you can get Quality Street purple and Quality Street orange in bar form now, and at 59p a bar, that's a bargain. So everyone was just like, you know, all the fatties were just going, wow, I can eat loads of that. That's at Farm Foods you can get those. So get yourself down there. Exclusive to Farm Foods. Fine. What else have we got? Here you go. This will be a problem for some of most of my users. Porn websites will now have to ensure that users are over 18 by checking ID. Yeah, Ofcom, the broadcasting web what do you call them? People, safeguarders. I don't know. What is Ofcom? I know it's a thing, isn't it? What do they do? I know Ofgen set the prices of gas and electricity. Ofcom now making you they set out guidance on how explicit adult websites should protect the young folk. This comes under the Online Safety Act, so you're going to have to upload your ID. Ofcom said that all age assurance methods were subject to UK privacy laws and overseen by the Information Commissioner's Office. So you're going to have to, update. You have to get your and up there. So by 2025, adult sites and apps should be required to keep written records explaining how they are protecting children from accessing these sites or face a hefty fine. And so there you go. So you better download all your porn now. Buy a big hard drive, download all your porn, and then they won't know what you're doing. Remember, you're only 2 clicks away from it. And there you go. So I can see that absolutely not working. Good news, everybody. Last decade was the hottest on record, figures reveal. Okay, that's good. Meanwhile, from the world of stupid, this is the story of a TikToker. They've not named her. I don't know why they've not named her. But this TikToker posted clips online on how to cheat train fares. Yeah. And again, they've fuzzed out who she is. And if there's a video. Whoops. I've just realised I haven't checked if there's an advert. There is an advert. I avoided that one. It's for Chase Bank, apparently. I think David Tennant's doing the voice over for that. It's funny because when he gets the Doctor Who gig, he ends up doing lots of voiceovers. Capaldi was the same. Matt Smith and Whittaker, not so much. I think Whittaker did a couple. Anyway, so I'm going off on Doctor Who tangent there. So here she is. She's giving advice on how to dodge train fares. Wow. So but it didn't work out too well for her because she's been prosecuted and fined £773, and her social media content was used as evidence against her. So, PC Leaser Scott Savage, investigating officer for the British Transport Police, said, "We're extremely pleased with the result of this case, which highlights the price of evading fares, hefty fines and a criminal record." There you go. Meanwhile, we've got some topical Christmas cracker jokes. This might help you. Right, so we've got some good ones here. Did you hear about the Christmas cake on display at the British Museum? It was stolen. Why is Elon Musk's Christmas dinner so awkward? Because he can't stop talking about his ex. Why isn't Barbie having turkey for Christmas dinner this year? Because Chick Ken is enough. Why aren't any schools allowed to put on a nativity this year? They couldn't find a stable building. That's because of remember the concrete crisis? What impacts will the 20 mile per hour speed limit in Wales have on the charts this year? Well, Chris Rea will be driving home for Easter. What happened to Mark Zuckerberg's novelty jumper when he had a cage fight with Elon Musk? He was left nothing but threads, because that's in social. These jokes are really bad. What's the difference between the Polar Express and HS2? One's a fantasy about a train, and the other's a film with Tom Hanks. I like that one. What did J. Robert Oppenheimer get Barbie for Christmas? Atomic Kennedy. Awful. Why are train drivers on the naughty list this year? Because they've already had 3 strikes. And finally, how does Margot Robbie decorate her nativity scene? Why? She uses 3 wise Ken. You are now armed. You are now armed. You can now disable anyone who tries that nonsense at the dinner table. You've got all the answers. You can get in there and finish them. There you go. There we go. So, meanwhile, this could be a case for Elf and safety. Uh-oh, the joke police are coming to get me. These are some pictures of people transporting their trees, not being very sensible about it. So we've got this first one. This was in London on Sunday. Decorated. Or maybe his missus had kicked him out. You can take that tree with you. And that's on an electric scooter. Not blocking their visibility at all. There we go. That's sensible. And that's the rear. That's in Hampstead. And yeah, he's got a cart on the back of his bike, making it even longer than a regular small car. So it's all right, isn't it? And another rider. Whoops! I've just kicked me tambourine there. Oops! I should have done it at the end. Packed it horizontal. Could be trouble going through a small space, couldn't it? Imagine going through cars. You're going to top and tail the tree. And this guy, well, you know, it's just showing off. There you go. How are you transporting your tree? Don't tell me in the comment box below. Keep it to yourself. What else have we got? I'm looking to find an animal story. Here we go. This is about, again, Christmas jumpers for cats and dogs. Okay. Apparently the market for pet clothing has rocketed over recent years. Right? Fashion Network UK has reported 75% of 1,000 surveyed owners admit purchasing outfits for their pets, even if it's just for Christmas. I've never bought anything. I only got like we've got a raincoat for the dog so she doesn't get wet, but it's not a jumper. But buying festive jumpers and dressing them up any time of the year can be dangerous, and a vet has warned. Sean McCormack, or Sean McCormack, depending on how he feels, is the head vet at towels.com. And he's warned that particular fabrics can be itchy and irritating to animals' fur and skin, and tight materials can restrict their movements. And he's detailed which fabrics should be avoided, how to spot the symptoms of possible allergic reaction, and how to recognise when your pet is uncomfortable. He said, with Christmas Day approaching, it could be more tempting than ever to dress your furry friend and get him to pose for a photo. As cute as it might be, many dogs do not actually enjoy wearing jumpers. It's because they've not been allowed to choose the jumper. That's why. If you let your doggy chum choose the jumper, he'd be a lot happier. You know, it's like when your mum used to make you wear that jumper you didn't like. Yeah, that nylon. Do you remember nylon? Who remembers? Do you remember everything was static in the 70s? I had some socks once, and we tried to dry them off on the fire, and they melted. That's no word of a lie. No, I don't remember me. God, that's how long ago it was. My dad was. He was the one that did it. He put my socks on top of the fire to dry off, because obviously been out in the snow or rain or something, and they melted. That was the 1970s. This is why everyone's snowflakes now. Chance of your socks melting, virtually impossible. I just went off on a tangent again. I'm ever so sorry. Wool apparently is the biggest irritant to dogs, and it can be highly uncomfortable for pups and felines. And nylon. I just did nylon. While nylon is very commonly used in fabric, canines can be allergic, and they can experience itchy and inflamed skin. And how can you spot allergic reaction? Weeping eyes, excessive scratching, runny nose, itchy ears, sneezing, head shaking, swelling feet, swelling around the face, skin redness caused by scratching, bald patches, and well, that's just me on a bad day. So there you go. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. Meanwhile, researchers from Spain's Basque Country did some research in 2022, and they found that owners who dress their dogs in clothing may actually see their beloved pooch as a little human. And and they often celebrated their pet's birthday. I did. I bought Layla Speedy Steve a little car because she likes cars, and gives them nicknames like Baby and Sweetheart. Don't think my dog's human. My one's got many nicknames. Growler. Anyway, and I forgot to do the picture. Got to do. There must be some. Is there a picture? Yeah, there's a picture. Here's a picture of some dogs wearing jumpers. There you go. And that's Christmas. I think I've done enough damage. Let's see if there's anybody in. It was a bad one today. I just want to apologise. It was bad. It was sloppy. I just wasn't with it. Clive's in. This is hi. Payne says, real bread, revolutionaries rise up. Indeed. That's all that yeast. They've all got yeast infections. Payne says, Ofcom are ombudsman, aren't they? There's something. I know there's something. Do they set? They should. Are they responsible for the TV licence as well? And Robert also adds, this year has been my oldest year on record. Exactly. 14 in chat, another party indeed, says Simon. George says 15 now. It's gone down to 12. I think the pictures of the dogs, it scare people off. And Payne like driving home for Easter, that made him laugh. And he said, I'm leaving my tree in the forest for the squirrels and beetles to live on. I've got my walrus tree. He's 25 years old this year. I'm going to hold a party for it. And Ron says, used to love Static Jumper, especially with the lights out. That was good entertainment as a kid. Yeah, balloons. If you ran into a load of balloons. And Harry's in, he says, right, Darren, just cut up with the Doctor Who reviews. Great stuff. Try to tune in with a big live stream. Take care. Yeah, we try and do it immediately after the thing. So it'll be this Saturday about 7:35ish. About then, because I've got to move the chairs. Have a wee. Yeah. Go have a wee before. And then then we're ready for it. Too much information, I know. Simon says, grammar, I thought that meant something else. Not when they're going at you. Oh, you're thinking of the ladies' parts. That's only if you're not very good at it and you make them unhappy. Anyway, on that note, I think I better get out of here. That was the news. I'm killing the channel one video at a time. You know, you got to drink it up. Ta-ta.